Well, we didn't get the fancy intro because I did it. Usually Johan does this, but apparently it's not automatically. Johan isn't here today, so it's just the three of us. Johan is in another meeting. Yeah. So, week 1, or is it week 2? I don't remember.
It's the second week.
It's the second week. Yeah. So let's recap the previous week. What have we done and what are we supposed to do this week? So, Diego, how did last week go?
Yeah, well, during the last week, we got the credentials for accessing our cloud, and we had the first interaction with the cloud. So creating network resources, these network, subnetwork, router, and server instances, security groups. So to end up with a working server and then installing a web server on top of it. Yeah, these are heterogeneous groups, so some of the students did not have any problem and they did it very quickly and solving all the issues that they found. And yeah, and some others needed more guide for accessing the cloud and starting to operate with the commands. After the OpenStack client was installed, the amount of doubts was smaller. So that the biggest problem was to install the command line interface and start and be able to interact with the cloud.
Yeah. Was there any problem understanding all the concepts about the cloud? Because when I started using the cloud, I had really hard time understanding what all the parts did in CS Cloud, like the security groups and routers and the networks and the floating IPs and stuff. But has there been any problems with like?
I think that I explained the concepts of the of the commands only once on Monday, because we following the guide, they work it. One of the DNS that was one of the DNS IPs did not work this week. I don't know if that DNS has been permanently removed from the university and we should change the guide, or if it was only last week. But somebody had problems with that because they added only one of the DNS and the guide put 2 and one was not working this week. Yeah, and then even if the commands were working, they really wanted to do what they were doing because the guide was a bit quite clean of text and only showing the commands. So on Monday we went through a description of what we needed. Monday and on last Wednesday, maybe a little bit.
Last Wednesday, okay. Yeah, then I say she had a hard time knowing how everything related together. But yeah, I think we'll work more with this in this coming week, maybe, and become clearer what's this cloud, how everything works. I hope. So what happened this week? What's next?
This week. Have a slide. I can show the expectation for this week. Let's see if I remember how I share this. Share screen. One. Yeah. And now when I start presenting, I will not see myself for the screen. So now you will.
We see you.
So yeah. Second week of the course, we have had our first experience with a cloud provider to create a very simple application that was a static website, like a hello world. But the interesting part was to create the resources programmatically. the network and the server and the IPs and this. So some of you have done it writing command after command, as the guide said. Some of you have tried several times to do the process while you were finding issues. You may have made a script. And this is great because it's the first step towards automation. And this week we will work on automated provisioning and configuration. So what are the goals for for this week? We have a theoretical goal and practical and practice goal. The theory is to learn about infrastructure as code because it's the main area that handles the automated provisioning and configuration of software applications. So we need to understand the benefits of automating the deployment and the management of the computer infrastructure, and this is the infrastructure as code. And when we know about infrastructure as code and its benefits, we will do some practice with tools. So we will get familiarity with a tool that is called, which name is Terraform. That automates and manages the creation of computing infrastructure. So what we did previously that this week using the OpenStack commands, either directly on the terminal or written in a script, we will write it in a declarative way to let Terraform read what we write and create the infrastructure for us.
So Terraform is more like configuring instead of commands, right?
Yeah, provisions. Then
provisions,
provides the infrastructure, and yeah, what the code that you write, if you look from some viewpoint, you can call it the configuration because it's declarative. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not imperative. There are not a command. It's not a command after command of what the tool should do. But yeah, you give the goals of what you want to have in the infrastructure, and then Terraform creates its own plan to deploy it. So yeah, you could call it the configuration if you leave the other imperative code.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah, and so in the theory part, sub goals. What is this term of infrastructure as code? Motivation for using it, infrastructure as code, the benefits, different languages for infrastructure as code that exists, and some properties of that a good infrastructure as code and a good infrastructure code should have. Like idempotency, but if you don't know this word, you will know this afternoon when you see the videos. And so some resources for the for the theory to get some. I put three groups. We go. The first group is about the general understanding and general definitions of infrastructure as code. So description, motivation, and benefits of using infrastructure as code. I wrote here 3 links. One from Martin Fowler, his description in his website, the Microsoft description, and Red Hat description of infrastructure as code. Then to learn more in depth the benefits, languages, and properties of infrastructure as code, you can watch 2 videos that are from a former course that we had a complete course on infrastructure as code here at the university some years ago. So you can watch the video on automation. It is in Swedish, and you can, if there are some definitions or some terms that you don't understand in that video, you can also watch the some initial definitions video. And yeah, the primary source for infrastructure as code should be the book.
Yeah.
But since we are working a week or two on this topic, we are not asking you to get the book, but if at least you can get it like 1 or 2 weeks, maybe from the library, because there are 3 copies at the library, you can read the first chapters. Actually, the videos in the second point describe part of the book, the first edition, because that former course was also based on that book.
Okay. Okay.
So, but if you get the primary source, better. So these 3 blocks of resources. Then for the practice, we will use Terraform tool. You can, this is in terraform.io. And the steps that we follow is install Terraform, following the instructions there in the /downloads. And then the process to create the infrastructure as code, read the get started, and then start creating the set of the code, which is a set of files with the extension TF for Terraform.
Okay.
So here, at this point, we will go already in the afternoon seminar, because it may not be immediate for you, or you may spend a lot of time to understand something that can be explained quickly. So if you have time during the morning or early afternoon, you can try to create the first TF file, but I will do it in the afternoon seminar on Zoom with you, okay?
Yeah, so that's probably good to be at then.
So the process will be to first allow Terraform to interact with OpenStack, because Terraform can interact with many cloud providers. Actually, if you look for help in Google, maybe you find more about Amazon, the AWS, more than for OpenStack. So. Yeah, and then we will the goal for the week is to be able to populate the rest of the .tf files that describe how how Terraform should create the infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
And these TF files will define resources, and resources are what we have seen last week: the network, the subnetwork, the server, floating IP, security groups. So we'll see how we write a block that is resource and the description of what we want, one block for the network, another for the subnet, and so on. And how then Terraform handles the plan to execute what we specified and creates the infrastructure. So the goal is to obtain the same as we did programmatically, command after command, this week. So a server that delivers a static web page and can be accessed through port 22 by SSH and port 80, the web.
Okay, so basically we will do the same thing we did last week, but by using Terraform instead.
Yeah, using infrastructure as code instead of ad hoc commands.
Yeah. Perfect.
And then for this is also something that we will go this afternoon. The 4 commands that you will use from Terraform when you have written the TF files is the init, so to start the Terraform plan, which reads the TF files and tells you what it's going to do with that. Apply, that actually executes what it told you that it would do, and then destroy to tear down the infrastructure that you have created with the apply. And that's all. You don't need to come more prepared than after this point. So at least this afternoon, come with Terraform installed. So you have the Terraform command available, and then I will start from this point creating the file that allows to interact with OpenStack and maybe we will create the network there all together and with the subnet or something. So you see the philosophy of creating blocks of resources. So I will follow all this process this afternoon, and I will execute also these commands. And yeah, that's all. And if this after this afternoon, I would again give you like a couple of days to wait for a checkpoint. And on Monday we will see how much you have been able to do, and if you are still in a situation in which you have not been able to create the first network, we do as this week. So we meet on Monday and we solve the technical issue. Other links about infrastructure as code and definitions you have here in this slide. I'm going to put the slides now in Slack. So for instance, the Wikipedia description for infrastructure as code. And yeah, that's all my presentation.
Perfect.
And
that's this week then. So the only thing we do this week together is this afternoon then.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm going to put native here the slide that I have just presented, because you have there the links.
Yeah, it's in Slack now, so you can
Yeah.
get the links. Perfect. I don't think we have much more this week, or do we?
Okay, they are asking when is this afternoon?
When is it? Yeah, is it in
I
the
thought
schedule?
that we had at 3 every week the seminars, but then I discovered that it was only the first week. So
Totally.
still in my mind, it's like every Wednesday at 3 I'm available for this course. So at 3 I'm available. If you don't have enough time to install Terraform and read the first at least the two first descriptions of infrastructure as code, we can start at 4. Because from 4 to 6 I can do the seminar, or maybe we are.
Is it a hard install? Is it hard to install? Is it like a advanced install, or is it just click, 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 and you're done?
To me, it was quite simple, but
yeah, then you should be able to make it at 3.
One operating system. So also the command line interface was quite simple to me. Now this week I have discovered a lot of issues with different operating systems.
Yeah, Elena has something at 15. Yeah, we could probably put this in the schedule so it's more clear in the future. Okay. We'll look into it.
Yeah. At least for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So this, next, and next. 2 more. After that, I will not have anything to say in the afternoon.
Okay.
We cannot otherwise move to Fridays. On Thursdays I cannot do this, but on Fridays I could. But I don't know if it would be like too ahead to do the kickoff with the tool.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how it goes today, and maybe we decide later on how, depending on how much problems people have with this.
Okay.
I guess
I write in Slack that is at 3, so it remains in the.
Yeah, so it's there forever. Perfect. Well, I think that's all from us. I don't think we have anything else. And yeah, Diego will see you all at 1500. So.
Okay. On the Zoom room.
On Zoom room. Yeah. Is there like a static Zoom room, or do you create one? Yeah.
Yeah. It's a static, and then yesterday they let me know that it's already configuring our Slack channel. So in the Slack channel, you go up right before the title. We have the GitLab, Zoom, YouTube. So it's there, the link.
Yeah, it's pinned in the channel, the Zoom channel. Yeah, I see it. So there it should be.
5 pin things with the course website as well. Yes. Yeah. you're right.
Well, that's all.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Okay. See you this afternoon.